Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're listening to the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any selection using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Meaning in discourse analysis. In discourse analysis, meaning is a central concept that encompasses how language communicates ideas, emotions, intentions, and social relations. Meaning in discourse is not inherent in words themselves but emerges from the interaction between language, context, and social factors. Here are key aspects of meaning in discourse analysis, enriched with examples. Contextual meaning. Meaning is highly dependent on the context in which language is used. Context includes the physical setting, the social situation, the participants, and their relationships. Example: the phrase, "Can you open the window?" can mean a simple request in a stuffy room but could also imply a criticism of someone's decision to close it in the first place, depending on the tone and situation. Pragmatic meaning. Pragmatics deals with how meaning is constructed in specific contexts, considering speaker intentions and listener interpretations. This includes understanding implied meanings, speech acts, and conversational implicatures. Example: saying, "It's getting late," at a party might be a subtle way of indicating a desire to leave. The listener interprets this as a hint rather than just an observation about the time. Interactional meaning. Meaning is co-constructed in interactions between speakers and listeners. It involves negotiation and mutual understanding, often requiring feedback and clarification. Example: in a business meeting, one participant might say, "We need to reconsider our strategy." The meaning of this statement could evolve through discussion, with participants asking questions, providing input, and reaching a shared understanding. Social and cultural meaning. Meaning is influenced by social and cultural norms, values, and knowledge. This includes shared beliefs, practices, and conventions that shape how language is interpreted. Example: the word holiday might evoke different meanings depending on cultural context. In the US, it might refer to a specific festive season like Christmas, while in the UK, it can mean any vacation or break from work. Ideological meaning. Language can carry ideological meanings that reflect and perpetuate power relations and social structures. Critical discourse analysis, CDA, examines how meaning is shaped by and shapes ideologies. Example: political speeches often use terms like freedom and security in ways that reflect ideological stances. Analyzing how these terms are used can reveal underlying political agendas and power dynamics. Intertextual meaning. Meaning in discourse can be shaped by references to other texts. Intertextuality involves recognizing how one text echoes or responds to another, creating layers of meaning. Example: a newspaper editorial might reference historical events or previous articles to support its arguments. These intertextual references add depth and context to the editorial's meaning. Semantic meaning. Semantic meaning involves the literal meanings of words and sentences. However, in discourse analysis, semantic meaning is often considered in conjunction with other forms of meaning. Example: the word bark has different semantic meanings depending on whether it is used in the context of a tree or a dog. Discourse analysis looks at how these meanings are understood in context. Polysemy and ambiguity. Words and phrases can have multiple meanings, polysemy, or be ambiguous, leading to different interpretations based on context and usage. Example: the word bank can mean a financial institution or the side of a river. In the sentence, "he sat on the bank," the meaning is ambiguous without additional context. Conversational meaning. In conversations, meaning is created through the dynamics of dialogue, including how speakers take turns, respond to each other, and manage topics. Example: in a debate, the meaning of statements can shift as participants respond to each other's arguments, challenge points, and build on ideas, creating a complex web of conversational meaning. Multimodal meaning. Meaning can also be conveyed through multimodal discourse. where language interacts with other modes of communication, such as images, gestures, and sounds. Example: in a multimedia presentation, the spoken words, visual slides, and accompanying music all work together to create and reinforce meaning. Discourse analysis examines how these modes interact. Conclusion: in discourse analysis, meaning is a multifaceted and dynamic concept that emerges from the interplay between language, context, and social interaction. Understanding meaning involves looking beyond the literal words to consider pragmatic, social, cultural, ideological, and intertextual dimensions. By analyzing these aspects, researchers can uncover the rich and complex ways in which language conveys meaning and influences human communication. Frequently asked questions. What is meaning in the context of discourse analysis? In discourse analysis, meaning refers to how language communicates ideas, emotions, intentions, and social relations. It emerges from the interaction between language, context, and social factors, rather than being inherent in the words themselves. How does context influence meaning in discourse? Contextual meaning is highly dependent on the environment where language is used, including the physical setting, social situation, participants, and their relationships. For example, "Can you open the window?" can be a simple request or a veiled criticism depending on the context and tone. What is pragmatic meaning? Pragmatic meaning involves understanding how meaning is constructed in specific contexts, taking into account speaker intentions and listener interpretations. For example, "It's getting late" at a party can imply a desire to leave, not just an observation about time. How is meaning co-constructed in interactions? Interactional meaning is created through the interactions between speakers and listeners, involving negotiation and mutual understanding. For instance, in a business meeting, the statement, "We need to reconsider our strategy," can evolve through discussion and feedback. How do social and cultural factors influence meaning? Social and cultural meanings are shaped by norms, values, and shared knowledge. For example, the word holiday might mean a festive season like Christmas in the US but refer to any vacation in the UK, depending on cultural context. What is ideological meaning in discourse? Ideological meaning reflects and perpetuates power relations and social structures. Critical discourse analysis, CDA, examines how language shapes and is shaped by ideologies. For instance, political speeches using terms like freedom and security can reflect specific ideological stances. How does intertextuality affect meaning? Intertextual meaning is influenced by references to other texts. Recognizing how one text echoes or responds to another adds layers of meaning. For example, a newspaper editorial referencing historical events adds depth to its arguments. What is semantic meaning? Semantic meaning involves the literal meanings of words and sentences. However, in discourse analysis, semantic meaning is considered alongside other forms of meaning. For instance, bark can refer to a tree's covering or a dog's sound, with the context clarifying which meaning applies. How do polysemy and ambiguity impact meaning? Polysemy and ambiguity arise when words or phrases have multiple meanings. For example, bank can mean a financial institution or the side of a river, and the meaning depends on the context in which it is used. What is conversational meaning? Conversational meaning is created through the dynamics of dialogue, including turn-taking, responses, and topic management. In debates, for instance, the meaning of statements can shift as participants interact and build on each other's points. How is multimodal meaning conveyed? Multimodal meaning involves language interacting with other communication modes, such as images, gestures, and sounds. In a multimedia presentation, for example, spoken words, visual slides, and music work together to create and reinforce meaning. Why is understanding meaning important in discourse analysis? Understanding meaning in discourse analysis is crucial for uncovering how language conveys complex ideas, emotions, and social relations. It involves looking beyond literal words to consider pragmatic, social, cultural, ideological, and intertextual dimensions, providing insights into human communication. Can you provide an example of how meaning is analyzed in discourse analysis? An example is analyzing the phrase, "Can you open the window?" in different contexts. In a stuffy room, it's a straightforward request. However, if said with a certain tone in a previously ventilated room, it might imply a criticism. This analysis reveals how context, pragmatics, and interaction shape meaning.